Hello everybody, my name is Paul Rader and I'm the Director of Activities at Seoul Foreign School. We are more than honored this year to host the AMI Band Festival, as well as to welcome you here tonight for the final concert of the festival. A few reminders for the audience tonight. AMI has a strict no video and no photo policy. And tonight we have a professional photographer who is here on hand who will be taking photographs, and these will be provided at a later date to all of the schools that are involved. We'd like to ask the audience to please silence all of your devices and put them away during the concert. And also wanted to let you know that after each ensemble performance, there will be a brief pause for group photos, and those will be announced. I'm going to now pass the microphone over to the SFS Head of School, Mr. Colin Flanagan, for a few words of welcome. Thank you.
Oh, that was nice. A nice bit of British polite applause. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody. It is fantastic to be here. Can I say, I talked to you all a couple of days ago, just before you started, and just so you know, my office is sort of just over there, and I've been hearing these bursts of music and these walls of sound coming out. And I say, and when I popped in, it's been truly amazing to see the wonderful work that's been going on. And what I always think is it's pretty brave, isn't it, to get up in front of an audience, particularly an audience that is made up of your parents, some of you. And we've actually got some parents who've come from other countries to actually see us today. So isn't that amazing? But actually, the real bravery doesn't come when you get up on stage. The bravery comes from when you're actually doing the work. Whether you're doing it back in your home country, or whether you're doing it here. That's the real bravery, day in, day out, making the effort to really make sure that you're striving for the excellence that we're about to hear this evening. And in Seoul Foreign School's mission statement, it talks about inspiring excellence and creative and academic excellence. And I can't think of any art form better than music that combines those two things, academic and creative excellence. So that's what this is all about, and we've got some of the best people from the different parts of the world to come together in unison to create music. So I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm thrilled that Seoul Foreign School is hosting it, and welcome, and particularly to parents. I know you're in for an absolute treat. Have a great evening, good luck, and God bless. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sophie Holbrook, and I serve as one of the band directors here at Seoul Foreign School. It is my pleasure to also serve as one of the hosts for this weekend's event. It is my pleasure to present the AMI Asian Middle School Honor Band, conducted by Mr. Ross Jones.
Good evening, everyone. What a wonderful pleasure it's been to work with this group this weekend. Just such an amazing group and such wonderful support from you, the parents, and from the school. The first piece we presented was called Shimmering Joy. Seemed like a really great start. The students were lucky enough this morning to chat with the composer of this piece, Tyler Grant, and he zoomed in from Atlanta, Georgia, and they had a great chat with him this morning for about half an hour about his process and about this piece, and he was super excited to find out that his piece was being played in Seoul this weekend, so he was very excited about that. Our next piece is a suite of French songs, and so it's going to be 4 movements long, and yeah, they're very cute little movements. I think you'll enjoy it. It's by Pierre Laplante. Really nice job, students. That was wonderful. If you'll pardon me for my chatting for the next little bit, this next portion of the concert is something different that we're trying. We have 2 pieces scheduled next, and for these 2 pieces, I'm going to go over there. The first piece is one of the things that AMIS tries to do is try to find a connection to the host. And as I was searching for music to find a connection to South Korea, I wasn't finding exactly what I wanted. It's not that the music isn't there, it's just sometimes finding music for middle school bands can be difficult. So as I was going through this process, I have a student who is quite a good composer, and he was just sending me things randomly, and I came to him one day and I said, "Hi, Kenyu, how would you like to just write something for me?" Maybe he's a percussionist. I said, "How about a percussion ensemble piece?" And I gave him some ideas and a little bit of groundwork, and I said, "Kenyu, how would you just write something? Let's see what we get." And he said, "Give me 2 weeks." I said, "Okay, great." And in a week, he came back, and he said, "I got it." I said, "All right." So he gave it to me, and it was very cool. And it was this piece entitled Korean Fantasy. And I said, "Okay, great." And I sent it to some friends, and they said, "Oh, this is kind of cool. You should do this." I said, "Okay, great, fine. We're going to put it on the concert." So for the first half of this segment of the concert, you're going to hear Kenyu's Korean Fantasy, and I'll invite him up in just a second to tell you a little bit about it. The second half is going to feature the Winds and a piece called Into the Blue. And just for a fun challenge, I said, why don't you try to do this piece conductorless? You don't need me. I'm just here for decoration anyway. So, and they've really taken that task to hand. So, at this point, I'm going to hand the mic over to Kenyu. He's going to tell you a little bit about his inspiration for Korean Fantasy, and then they're going to play that for you. It's really, really cool. I think you'll enjoy it. This is a world premiere. It's not been performed before. If you want to hear it again, I'm putting it on my concert in 2 weeks, and you can come on down to KIS, and we'll host you down there, too. But this is the first time it's ever been played, and Kenyu got to work with the students today, and that's such a special experience to work directly with the composer. So hop on up here, Kenyu, and tell us about it. This is Kenyu. He's a 10th grade student at Korea International. He's also playing in the high school honor band. So.
Yep, thank you for the story, Mr. Jones. So again, I'm Kenyu Hayase from Korea International School. I'm a 10th grade student. And I have been served as the honor for being served as the first percussion of the high school honor band. And also, I'm extending my most honor to this percussion ensemble for being such elaborate and luxurious in playing my composition, Korean Fantasy. So Korean Fantasy, as you could have guessed from the title, is composed of many Korean folk songs. And one of them are Arirang. I think it's quite a famous piece here. And another one is called Samu Nori. I think it's quite less popular, but yeah. So it's an integration of many Korean folk songs, as well as this new idea of a percussion ensemble. And yeah, I think you'll be able to enjoy it. I'm really proud of this percussion ensemble for playing this piece in such a elaborate manner, especially considering it's quite a difficult piece. Thank you.
As a coda to that, one of my favorite Kenyu things, he came up to me about 3 weeks after I gave him this, after I handed this piece out, and he says, "Is my name going to be in the program?" Yes, yes, Kenyu, your name is going to be in the program. So please take it away with Korean Fantasy. That was really fantastic. Thank you, students. That was wonderful. For the second half of our concert, third section, I guess. We're at the third section now, aren't we? The third section, we have 3 pieces. The first is entitled Vigilante by Michael Markowski. This piece is brand new. As I planned this program about a year ago, this piece was not yet released. It hadn't been performed until the summer. And I was out cruising the webs there, and I heard it and I said, oh, we've got to play that. This is a lot of fun. So this piece is about, it's set more like a film score than it is an actual band piece. So you'll hear a lot of things if you watch movies like The Incredibles or Spider-Man or anything like that. You're going to hear some concepts there. Then we're going to play something slow and beautiful for you called Song for Peace. And then we're going to end with just a really fun tune called Country Club Stomp. Before we do that, I'd like to say thank you to several people. First of all, Ms. Holbrook and Mr. Yanu. Always, you do such a wonderful job hosting. On stage with me and in the rehearsal room with me, I've had 2 really wonderful people. Mr. Ward from Hong Kong International School, who has been ears and everything and advice and everything else. It's been great, thank you. And he brings coffee without being asked. He's awesome. And then in the back, you've probably seen Mr. Bob Talhuber from Seoul International School has done a great job coordinating our percussion and stepping in and fixing things and finding cymbals and finding bolts, and he's a wizard of things like that. So big thank you to all of you for your help. Okay, quite enough of me talking. We're going to go ahead and we're going to play the back half of this thing.
The ensemble will hold in place for 1 minute so you can take some photos. Students, could you please push your stands down and make sure you're facing the audience and hold your instruments in front of you as much as possible. All right, audience, you have 1 minute to take their photo. Make sure you smile. He knows how to smile. All right, just a few more. All right, thank you so much, AMI Asian Middle School Band. We appreciate your patience while transitioning to the next ensemble.
Welcome back, everybody. Good evening. My name is Joshua Yanu, and I'm one of the band directors here at Seoul Foreign School. It's been a delight to serve as a host for this wonderful festival. It's my great joy to introduce for you the 2025 AMIS Asian High School Honor Band, conducted by Dr. Emily Trinan.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is just such a joy to be here. This is my first time in Seoul and my first time here in South Korea, and I've had nothing but an amazing experience. I want to say just a quick thank you to everyone that trusted me to be a part of this weekend and a part of AMIS. It's just been amazing. So the concert is themed a little bit abstractly, and that is the title, as you see on your program, called Impressions. And each piece has some relationship to a person or a place. And that first piece we performed was called Infinity, and the composer is an African-American composer, kind of on the younger end, really emerging as a person writing for wind band. His name is Kataj Copley, and he was imagining shooting stars and this idea of infinity, of everlasting energy, everlasting sparkles. And in the program notes, if you look at his score, he's got some kind of, it can be perceived as an omen or perceived as something positive and exciting. So I always think it's a kind of a fun concert opener with minimalistic elements, but this idea of thinking beyond or thinking within the stars and in space. This next piece we're performing is called Awakenings by another American composer, Kimberly Archer. And awakenings, as I said to the students, can be anything from physical awakening in the morning when you're getting up and your life is emerging and you're thinking about your day, or perhaps a spiritual awakening, and when you are enlightened by something, or as we mature and we're learning more about life or learning more about ourselves. So we hope you enjoy this next piece. It's kind of a soundscape type of piece, and I want you to imagine some kind of personal awakening for yourself. So, going back to this idea of impressions, the next tune is called The Second Suite in F by Gustav Holst, a British composer. It is for sure one of the more, let's say, classical or cornerstone works for wind band. And one might argue, well, how does that fit in the impressions kind of theme? And again, the theme is abstract, so come with me on this one. But each of the four movements are folk tunes, and tunes that Mr. Holst collected when he was living there and working with people. So in a way, anytime I do a piece of music where I think about the connection to folk tunes, I always think of the impressions of the people singing them. For our band directors in the room here, anytime I think of Lincolnshire Posy, I don't just think of text painting, but I think of the gentlemen that were singing those songs that Mr. Granger was trying to sort of convey in the style. So one might argue that we could do the same kind of thing in this next piece here. It is composed in 4 movements, and we just ask that you hold your applause between the movements if you wouldn't mind. But we hope you enjoy this classical kind of masterpiece for wind band, Gustav Holst, Second Suite in F. So, similar to the middle school band, which I have to say, middle school band, you performed amazingly. That was such a great concert. Way to go. I loved the variety of each piece, and it captured your talent so well, and you were so confident on stage. It was just really terrific. So, like the middle school group, we had an opportunity today, a little bit ad-lib, so I appreciate the folks that were working with this. But the composer of the next piece, his name is Travis Cross. He's a very dear friend. We've known each other since the mid-90s. These students weren't even born yet, I know. And he's actually a Korean-born man and was adopted by American parents when he was a baby. And he's so devoted to Korean culture and his Korean heritage. He comes over here as much as possible. He's bugging Sophie all the time for Korean things that are happening, you know, swag and so forth. But he's just a lover of this country, and I wanted to do this piece mainly because of that, because he's such a dear friend of mine, and I know he loves Korea so much, and I wanted to celebrate him and this country by promoting this piece. But much like the middle school band, this ad-lib thing that we did today was, Travis is actually in Hawaii right now doing a band festival, and I asked if he would take a phone call and chat with our students today about this next piece, and he did so. He was actually, I think, in Pearl Harbor, and I had my cell phone out, and he was chatting and talking with the students about this piece, and a little bit answering some questions that they had as well. So thanks to Travis for doing that, and what a cool idea, middle school students. I'm glad you had the chance to do that with Tyler too. So this next piece, Memento, again going back to this idea of impressions, he said this today too. It's a bit abstract. It's not telling a story directly, not a programmatic piece, but more of us thinking of memory and thinking of people in our lives that we remember. This piece in many ways is in honor of his grandmother, and you're going to hear little snippets of tunes from Indiana and tunes that are connected to his grandmother. And again, kind of looking back and looking into the memory of that person. So it's a beautiful piece. It was fun to talk to Travis today, and we hope you enjoy this next piece, Memento. before we play our last piece, I want to again thank everyone that made this possible. I had truly, just an incredible time. I know that putting all this together requires a team of people, lots of commitment from administration, lots of groundwork from the teachers and the hosts, and the list is extensive of everyone to thank. So thank you for all of your hard work in making this possible. To the guardians, parents, loved ones that support all these amazing students, thank you for everything that you do to support live music and to support your students in this creative and beautiful endeavor. You all started with these students at a very young age, probably making sounds that weren't as pleasant as the sounds you hear right now. But thank you, parents and loved ones, for your support. I'd like to also extend a personal thanks to Jared Robertson, who is helping us in our percussion section, and Jeff Taylor for helping me as the host, and of course to Cindy Boutiel for all the work in corresponding and getting this organized, and to the hosts that are here. It's, again, a team of people. And the last thanks goes to these incredible students for enduring me for the last 3 days and for being so wonderfully responsive and trying new things, focusing a lot on detail work, as I hope you're hearing here, and trying new expressive things. So it's really, really been a treat. I have to say, as I said earlier, it's my first time here in South Korea, and I am leaving a piece of my heart here. It's really just a delightful place. I wish I could stay longer, but I've had a wonderful time. So mighty thanks to you all for making this possible. On this last number here, Conga del Fuego Nuevo. This is a piece by it's a piece by a Mexican composer, Arturo Marquez, and it's got Afro-Cuban feel and style to it. And as far as an impression goes, the title is Conga on Fire. So I think that's a pretty strong impression there. So we hope you enjoy this last number. If you want to get up and dance a little bit, you are welcome to do so. I've been working on these guys grooving a little bit too, so we'll appreciate that a little bit. So thanks again for being here, and we hope you enjoy Conga del Fuego Nuevo.
Just before we do that, I have a few things, if you don't mind to say, just before we do it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy Boutiel, and I have the honor to be the Associate Director for the Association for Music in International Schools. So this AMIS tradition began 50 years ago this year. And as you can see from the banners and everything here, it's a tradition that has lasted and grown and has become this wonderful legacy of our founders that we all know today. Dick and Georgia Bassett started this festival 50 years ago at the American School in London, and we now have 140 members on 4 continents. So we've truly seen magic happening here in the middle school and the high school bands over these few days. And talking about AMIS Magic, there's AMIS Magic in a different part of the world a little bit later today as well, because we have 2 other festivals going on the European continent a little bit later today. So there's a lot of AMIS Magic happening at the moment. We've truly had an amazingly warm welcome here at Seoul Foreign School. I know all of us have felt just a part of this community for the time that we're here. So we would really like to thank Seoul Foreign School for that. It takes a lot of people, and it takes support from the school, the music department, and everyone at home to make this happen. So there's many, many thank yous in the program. We all have a lot of thanks in our hearts. Please look at the thank yous in the program, because there are people that have really gone over and beyond any demands anybody could make, and it really has made this a fantastic experience. It is appreciated. None of this obviously would have happened without somebody to host it. So I would like to say another thank you, please, to Sophie Holbrook and to Josh Yanu for actually taking on this massive project and hosting this festival. Thank you. Now we come to the part of the program where we recognize the schools that are represented here on the stage. So what's going to happen is I'm going to read out the name of each school, all 31 of them, that are here on the stage. And when I read out that name, the students and their directors from that school are going to stand and be recognized by all of you here and all of you at home. So, we're going to start. We're going to start with the Asia Pacific International School, whose director is Matthew Tavares. The American School in Hong Kong, where their directors are Liam Callan and Jessica Kaider. The American School in Japan, where their directors are Jeff Torchon and Sierra Schwartz. Branksome Hall, Asia, where the director is Sarah Ripple. The Canadian International School of Bangalore, where their director is Ali Lehtinen. The Canadian International School of Hong Kong, where their director is Liam O'Toole. Chadwick International, where the director is Jordan Sherd. Concordia International School Shanghai, where the directors are Vonda Roddick and Mike Shirk. Dalian American International School, where the director is Ashley Mims. Hong Kong International School, where the directors are Mark Purich, Mike Ross, and Chris Ward. The International Christian School of Hong Kong, where the directors are Jeff Taylor and Nevada McKenzie. The International School of Bangkok, where the directors are Kentaro Udagawa and Brent Poling. The International School of Beijing, where the director is David Powell. The International School of Kuala Lumpur, where the director is Jonathan Baird. The International School of Manila, where the director is Rachel Dudley. Korea International School, Pangyo Campus, where the directors are Ross Jones and Sanford Jones. Korea International School, Jeju, where the directors are Michael Connor and Lucas Chaper. Kwajalein School on the Marshall Islands, where the director is Kyle Miller. Raffles American School in Malaysia, where the director is Joseph Kim. Shanghai American School Pudong Campus, where the director is Derek Kaur. Shanghai American School Puxi Campus, where the directors are Carolina Peck and Harut Boyajian. Seoul International School, where the director is Robert Talhuber. Suzhou Singapore International School, where the director is Lindsay Boyd. Taipei American School are hosts next year, where their directors are Stephen Abernethy and Jennifer Anderson. The United Nations International School of Hanoi, where their director is Scott Harbin. The United World College of Southeast Asia, where the directors is Sally Newman. And the other campus of the United World College of Southeast Asia, where their director is Daniel Zeeberg. Xi'an Liangjia Tian International School, where the director is Nathan Kim. Yongsan International School of Seoul, where the director is Christian Davis. And of course, our host school, Seoul Foreign School, where their directors are Joshua Yano and Sophie Holbrook. And I would like to present the plaque that we have that will be a memory of this festival, we hope, in this school to our hosts from AMIS. Could you come up and get this? Thank you very much. Now, can we please welcome back Dr. Emily Trinan back to the stage for the final part of the concert. Thank you very much.
And now we will hold this position for 1 minute so you can take a photo. Dr. Trinan to the stage. Dr. Trinan.
Okay, we're going to count down. 10, 9, 8. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much, everyone. As you are going out of the doors, you will see a couple of my colleagues with baskets that are donations for our financial aid fund. There are students in every festival that qualify to be part of a festival, but actually lack the means to be at the festival themselves. So any donations that you can make will go entirely towards supporting students at events such as these in parts of the world. So with that, thank you so much for coming. There are opportunities outside in the entrance to take fun photographs and to just celebrate a fantastic concert and a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for coming.